What if every wound you carry isn't weakness but wisdom demanding silence? What if protecting your soul means building walls only the worthy can cross? And what if your true strength is not in how much you share, but in how fiercely you guard your peace? Prepare yourself for 9 brutal truths that will forge a sanctuary inside you, where no betrayal can reach, and no noise can shatter your calm. Hey, Stoic warriors, welcome back to my channel. There's a moment when the noise fades, when the world pauses, and in that pause you hear it. A whisper not from the outside, but from within. A quiet voice saying, "Protect what's left of you." That's not weakness. That's your soul trying to survive. Because somewhere along the way we gave pieces of ourselves to people who never planned to carry them gently. And now we bleed in silence. There are wounds we never speak of. Not because we're strong, but because we're exhausted. Because silence became our shield when honesty turned into ammunition. Because the betrayal didn't come from our enemies. It came from soft hands, warm smiles, and moments that once felt like home. The pain wasn't loud. It didn't scream. It whispered. It lingered. It made itself comfortable in places we thought were safe. These aren't scars from chaos. These are the echoes of trust broken in silence. The kind of wounds stitched behind the scenes between people we once let in too close, and moments we'll never get back. This isn't the pain of one explosion. It's the erosion of the soul, the slow leak of peace. Every time we expose the most fragile parts of ourselves to people who only saw them as entertainment. It took me 50 long years to understand. Your peace doesn't collapse in tragedy. It dies by exposure, not suddenly but piece by piece. Every time you hand over your truth to someone who never earned it, we think we're connecting. We think we're being real. But sometimes what we call opening up is just emotional bleeding in front of someone who only came to watch. And that pain, it doesn't rage, it drips. It shows up as sleepless nights, overthinking every word, guilt after vulnerability, and the knowing suspicion that someone somewhere is twisting your story into gossip. It haunts you not because of what was said, but because you can't take it back. Because you gave away something sacred to someone who saw it as disposable. Seneca once said, "If you wish to keep your secret, first keep it yourself." I used to laugh at that. I believed openness was courage, that speaking out was strength, that vulnerability was the highest form of love. But now I know there's a brutal difference between being transparent and being emotionally naked in front of people who only want to watch you unravel without ever helping you heal. So let me make something crystal clear. Your peace is sacred, not public. It is not a community project. It is not open for comment, opinion, or curiosity. It's a private temple you protect with silence, solitude, and brutal discernment. Every time you expose your soul to the wrong person, you're letting them rearrange the furniture in your sanctuary with dirty hands. This isn't just a video, it's a reckoning. It's for the ones who gave too much too fast, who trusted with their whole soul and were left wondering why silence feels so heavy now, who opened their hearts like homes and watched people walk through with muddy feet. No apology, no intention to stay. You're not weak for staying quiet. Now you're not cold. You're rebuilding. And part of that rebuilding is understanding the simple truth. Not everyone is entitled to your story. Not everyone has earned the right to witness your storms. Some people only show up for the drama, not the depth. And so from this moment forward, make it your oath. My peace is sacred, not public. Say it, believe it, live by it. Let that sentence sit like steel in your chest. Let it harden your boundaries. Let it guard your softness. I'm going to walk you through 9 brutal but life-saving laws. Laws about privacy, dignity, and emotional sovereignty. Each one was carved from betrayal. Each one bled out of disappointment. And each one taught me that silence is not the absence of trust. It's the presence of wisdom. So don't treat this like a story. Let it be a turning point. Let every word carve itself into your skin like a warning from your future self. If I had learned these lessons at 20, 30, even 40, I would have never begged for peace. I would have built it, and I would have guarded it with everything I had. Don't skip. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Let this sink into your bones, because this isn't just advice, it's survival. Now let's dive in. Number 1, people change after knowing too much. Ever had that moment where you opened up and suddenly they weren't looking at you the same way? The eyes that once saw admiration now see something else. That smile you thought was warm turns cold. They don't listen like they used to. Instead of support, there's something strange, something distant in the air. It's like they were rooting for you, but now they're just watching you, waiting for you to slip. Why does this happen? Because people change when the mystery around you evaporates. When what was once intriguing about you, the untold, unseen parts of your life, get spilled out. What they admired was the illusion, not the truth. They were cheering for the version of you that wasn't fully human. The moment you become human to them, they start seeing flaws. And that's when it all starts to crack. They won't always hit you with knives, though. Sometimes it's quieter. A backhanded comment here. A moment of silence there. A strange distance that creeps in when they're supposed to be closest. It's not always cruel. It's just different. And it's chilling. That shift in how they see you, it's not a coincidence. People change when they learn too much. When they see the real fight you're facing inside instead of the calm face you've learned to show. There's something primal about this. Something that cuts deep. The moment they know too much, they lose the reverence they once had. It's like they've uncovered the magic trick, and now all they see is the hands that were pulling the strings. Here's the kicker. The moment you overshare, you lose your power. You scatter your energy into the wrong hands. You expose yourself to those who never earned the right to see your soul. You invite judgment from people who were never meant to understand your struggles. When you reveal too much, they'll never look at you the same again. Remember what Epictetus said. Be careful to leave your children well instructed rather than rich, for the hopes of the instructed are better than the wealth of the ignorant. That's you. Don't let your words drain your strength. Don't hand over the essence of your being to someone who won't protect it like it's sacred. Let your silence be louder than your confessions. Let them feel your power without ever fully knowing the story. Teach them your strength, your character, not your pain. Because when they don't know your full story, they can't twist it. They can't weaponize what they never had the right to hold. Guard your narrative, control your silence. Share your soul only with those who truly understand its worth, those who truly love you. They don't need the full story. They respect the soul beneath it, and that's all that matters. Number 2, your vulnerability is currency. Spend it wisely. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to the battle that rages inside you. We've all been told to open up. That vulnerability is a form of strength. And it is, but only when it's guarded like the treasure it is, not when it's tossed out, scattered to anyone who listened to feel something temporary, something fleeting. That's not strength. That's a surrender. Vulnerability is a sacred currency. It's not a free-for-all giveaway. It's a transaction, one built on trust, not desperation. When you offer your pain to someone who hasn't earned your trust, you devalue it. You're handing over your sacred scars like a prize in a contest no one deserves to enter. And the worst part, they don't respect it. They use it to entertain themselves, to fill the silence, to make themselves feel less alone. That's not healing. That's self-betrayal. There's power in restraint, a quiet, simmering power that pulses in the spaces between words in the moments of silence. It's the strength of not texting them when your heart is breaking. It's the mastery of holding your pain in instead of spilling it to anyone who asks for it. Because when you speak too soon, you're robbing yourself of the power that comes from enduring your battles in silence. In Stoicism, there's a principle called enkritia, mastery of oneself, not control over others, not the power to dictate what happens around you. It's the brutal, raw mastery of your own reactions, your own words, your emotions. And here's the reality. When you share everything with everyone, you lose that mastery. You lay your self-respect out on the table like a game of poker with people who might walk away with your hand halfway through the deal. People don't always want to hear your secrets to help you. Sometimes they're just looking for a moment to feel better about their own chaos. And once they've taken what they need, they're gone, leaving your vulnerability echoing in an empty room. So let your pain mature. Let it burn through you until it teaches you something. Don't make it someone else's lesson before you've learned from it yourself. Your soul isn't a vending machine. Stop giving it away for the price of temporary company. It's not a transaction, it's a treasure. And only those who truly deserve to witness it should ever be allowed to see it. Number 3, people don't listen, they collect. Some people don't listen to understand. They listen to collect. Every word you speak, every wound you bleed, every name you drop. It's not a moment of connection. It's an inventory. They're taking mental snapshots, filling their emotional warehouse with your deepest fears, your weakest moments. And one day, when the time is right for them, they'll pull it all out. Not to console you, not to heal you. No, they'll use it to control you, to manipulate a situation they're not even in, to twist your pain and turn it into their power. The worst part, it's the ones closest to you, the ones you thought were your safe haven, the ones you believed would hold your secrets like sacred treasures, but instead you're just feeding their curiosity. You thought they were listening with compassion, but all they were doing was smiling while taking mental notes, storing up your vulnerability like precious ammunition. And when they go quiet after you speak, that's not peace. It's not understanding. That's cold calculating analysis. They're picking apart your words, finding the weak spots in your story. Then down the line, when you least expect it, the very story you thought you entrusted to someone you loved, it'll be reshaped, rehashed, and used against you. That's the deepest betrayal. Not from your enemies, not from strangers. It comes from those who sat in your presence, listened to your heart, and walked away as though your pain was just a convenient tool they could use later. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Don't become cold. Don't let the world turn your heart into stone, but become calculated. Guard your words like you're holding the last weapon you've got. Test the waters before you trust anyone with the depths of who you are. Speak less, and when you do, speak in a way that they can't twist, can't turn into something else. Say things that can't be used as weapons against you, things that cannot be rearranged and turned into a tool for their manipulation. Not everyone who collects your pain is looking to comfort you. Some are hoarding ammo for later, and when you let them in, they'll use it eventually." Number 4, oversharing is often disguised loneliness. Sometimes we talk too much, not because we trust, but because we're desperate to be seen. You feel it. The moment the floodgates open, they seem interested. They're nodding, leaning in, giving you just enough attention to make you believe this connection is real. So you let it pour out. Your childhood wounds, your adult failures, your trauma, your grief, your guilt. It's all spilling out like a dam that's been holding back the torrent of everything you've carried, everything you've hidden. But the moment you stop, the emptiness hits harder than before. That bond you thought was forming, it's just an illusion. You didn't need someone to hear you. You needed someone to hold you, to sit with you in the quiet, in the space where words aren't required, where presence is the comfort. But no, you handed over your blueprint, your deepest secrets, your darkest moments. Now someone else walks around with your truth. They don't carry the weight of it the way you do. They've got it like a souvenir they can toss aside when they're done. And you're left exposed, hollow, like the room's grown bigger and colder. Your words didn't fill you. They emptied you. This happens when silence feels like a cage, when loneliness bullies you into confession. It's the pain of being so tired of your own company that you'll spill everything to anyone who will listen. But here's the truth. Loneliness isn't solved by company. It's solved by self-companionship. Stoicism teaches us self-sufficiency. It's not about being numb. It's about learning to sit with your own storms, feeling every wave of emotion without drowning. It's realizing that not every thought, not every pain needs an audience. Before you speak, ask yourself, am I talking to heal or am I talking to fill a void? Because your deepest wounds, they deserve more than a surface-level reaction. They deserve reverence. They need silence, respect, space to breathe and heal. Not some quick fix feel-good response that fades as soon as the conversation ends. Until you can sit with your truth without needing to spill it to anyone, you'll keep cycling through this dance of overexposure and regret. And each time you do, you'll feel that hollow ache grow just a little bit deeper. Number 5, some people act close just to extract. There's a breed of person who doesn't care about you. They care about what you carry. They'll act like they're invested in you, asking deep questions, nodding along, empathizing like they've known you forever. Maybe they'll share a sliver of their own story, just enough to make you feel safe, to make you think this is a genuine exchange. But it's all a lie. It's bait. They're not trying to build intimacy. They're building leverage. You'll find yourself spilling things you never planned to say. It'll hit you like a punch to the gut. Wow, I've never told anyone this. You think you found someone who gets you, someone you can trust, but later that trust will feel like dust in your mouth because it was never mutual. You were never being supported, you were being studied. And that false sense of safety they created, that's what traps you, makes you think, maybe I can trust them. But trust isn't built in shallow, manipulative conversations. It's built in action, real, consistent action. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "Better to trip with the feet than the tongue. What you say can destroy you, faster than what you do." Words are weapons, and some people are just waiting for you to hand them the ammunition. Some people get close not to love you, but to gather your fears, your mistakes, your weaknesses, like they're collecting tools for their own manipulation or control. They pry open your past, dig into your shame, extract your secrets, all for their own comfort, to feed their own agenda. Don't get caught up in their charisma. Don't fall for the smooth words or the charming act. Fall for consistency. Watch how they behave when you say no. Watch how they react when you disagree. Watch how they disappear when you're unavailable. That's when the truth is revealed. When the mask drops. If they vanish when you go quiet. When you stop giving them your energy, that silence just saved you. It's the shield you needed, the warning you ignored before. Trust the silence, it's speaking louder than any sweet-talking facade ever will. Number 6. When people know too much, they stop respecting the mystery. You lose your power the moment they know everything. In the beginning, people are drawn to the mystery of you. They're curious, fascinated, almost enchanted by the quiet confidence you exude. It's like they're staring into the abyss of your unspoken story. And that silence pulls them in, makes them wonder, but the more you talk, the more they label you. They don't respect you for your silence anymore. They start seeing your flaws, your fears, your weaknesses, things that until now were hidden, kept in the dark, where only you controlled the light. You go from being a mystery to being an open book. And in that transition, something powerful vanishes. The respect. They'll start finishing your sentences, predicting your moves like they've cracked the code, laughing at your dreams, mocking what once seemed invincible. And the worst is when they stop seeing you as someone powerful, because you've taken away the very thing that gave you that power, the silence, that ability to keep them guessing, to keep them wondering, to leave them wanting more. Seneca said, "Speech is silver, silence is golden." The more you stay golden, the more you make your presence felt without ever saying a word. You don't owe your past to anyone who asks. You don't need to open up every dark corner just because someone's curious, just because they want to get in. Your story is not entertainment, it's sacred. When you hold parts of yourself back, when you don't spill every detail for the sake of conversation, you protect the mystery. You guard the power that makes people respect you. And you protect something even more important, your peace. Because when people can't fully define you, when they can't put you in a neat little box, they can't control you. Stay quiet. Let your presence speak. Let your progress be felt without explanation. Your story doesn't need to be narrated. It's lived. And that's where the real respect lies, in the mystery that no one can touch. Number 7. Most people talk to respond, not to understand. You think they're listening, but they're not. They're just waiting for their turn. They nod, they smile, they say that's crazy, but their mind is already miles away rehearsing their next line. They're not absorbing your pain, they're calculating their comeback. And when they finally speak, it's not comfort, it's comparison. You tell them you're hurting, and they jump into their own story as if your struggle is just a segue into their misery. You say you're struggling, feeling crushed beneath the weight of it all, and they fire back with, "You think that's bad? Let me tell you about what I went through." Suddenly it's not about you anymore. It becomes a competition of whose wounds are deeper, whose pain is more unbearable. It becomes a sick game of one-upmanship. And you walk in seeking empathy, but you leave with exhaustion, feeling more empty than when you arrived. Stoicism warns us against this illusion of connection. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But here's the thing. Today's world has flipped it. People speak twice as much and listen only to be heard. Their ears are closed. Their mouths are wide open. And that's where you need to draw the line. Don't spill sacred pain into shallow ears. Don't waste your soul on those who won't even give you their full attention. Test their patience, test their silence. If they can't handle your pause, the gap between your words, they don't deserve your truth. You're not a story to be skimmed. You're a soul to be honored. And if they can't handle the weight of your words, if they can't sit in the discomfort with you, then keep your truth to yourself, because not everyone who hears you is listening, and not everyone who listens deserves to hear. Number 8, your peace is more powerful than their opinion. Every time you overshare, you open the floodgates. And what comes rushing in isn't understanding. It's a tsunami of opinions drowning you with their noise, their judgments, their advice that comes wrapped in the misery of their own unhealed wounds. These opinions aren't just opinions, they're chains. Heavy, suffocating chains that wrap themselves around your thoughts, your decisions, your very being. The moment you let their voices enter, you start to question your every move. You start second-guessing your pace, your dreams, the fire that burns deep in your soul. You'll be lost in the echo of their voices, each one telling you what they think is best, as if they know you. As if they've ever felt your pain, they'll tell you, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." And for a moment, you'll feel your fire flicker. For a moment, you'll think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they're right. But Marcus Aurelius said it best: if you seek tranquility, do less. Or more accurately, do what's essential. And what is essential? It's your peace, your unwavering, unshakable peace. Not the approval of people who don't even know the truth of your journey. Not the opinions of those who haven't seen the darkness you've clawed through to reach where you are. They don't understand your struggle, and they certainly don't understand your sacrifice. Stop explaining yourself to the wrong people. Stop seeking approval from the half-listening, the shallow-minded, the ones who can't see your vision. You owe them nothing. Your truth is sacred, and they don't deserve to rewrite it with their doubts. Some battles, some scars, they're not meant to be shared. Some transformations are forged in the darkness where no one can interrupt your metamorphosis. In the quiet, in the solitude, you become unbreakable. And every time you hand your truth to the wrong person, you gamble your peace, your sanity, your power for their pity. You offer them your soul only for them to toss it aside, leaving you hollow, exposed like a cracked vessel. This is not your path. Stop bargaining with your peace. Stop letting others carve into your soul with their hollow advice. Stop shrinking your power for the comfort of others. Hold your journey close, too close for anyone else to touch. Let your peace become the fire that burns through their confusion, their noise, and their judgments. Let your silence become the storm that consumes everything they think they know about you. When you protect your peace, you protect your soul. You become the tornado that no one can control. Your peace is the weapon that will break their chains and leave them shaking in the wake of your transformation. They can never take what you refuse to give. Number 9, the deepest connections don't need explanation. When it's real, you don't have to say a word. Some souls just understand. They don't need to hear the chapters of your life spilled onto the table. They don't need a narrative of your suffering to know the weight you carry. Your silence speaks louder than your voice ever could. And in those moments, there's no need for justification, no need for validation. You don't have to break yourself down piece by piece, explain your pain, or defend your truth. They get it. The way your eyes speak a language the world doesn't know. The way your energy shifts and your heart breaks, and they see it. They don't just hear your words, they feel your soul. This kind of connection, it's not for everyone. Most people can't handle it. They're not built for the weight of who you are. Most can't hold the depth, can't carry the gravity of your silence, your pain, your strength. But when you find someone who can, it changes everything. Stoicism teaches us about sympathia, The idea that we're all connected in this chaotic, tangled web of existence. But it also warns us not every connection is meant to be made. Not every soul deserves a seat at your table. Just because you're connected doesn't mean you're meant to walk the same path. There are those who will love your joy but run from your sorrow. They'll bask in your light. But when your shadow falls across them, they'll step back, afraid of what they don't understand. They're not your people. The ones who belong in your life don't need you to explain your darkness. They feel it. They don't need the story behind your silence because they understand that silence is a language all its own. They know the depth of your being without needing to excavate it piece by piece. They see you, and they don't run. So stop forcing connections with people who can't see beyond the surface. Wait for the ones who see you in the quiet, who can feel your pain without needing the details. Those are the ones who are worthy of your story. Save your truth for those who don't flinch when you fall silent. The ones who don't need words to feel the weight of your soul. Those are the people who will lift you, not break you. And they are rare. But when you find them, they'll become the solid ground beneath your feet. Stop offering pieces of your soul like they're on clearance. You are not a discount version of yourself. You are a storm, a silence, a sanctuary, and not everyone deserves to enter. Stoicism teaches us one brutal truth. What you give freely, the world will trample. Marcus Aurelius said, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, that's not detachment, it's discipline. So guard your peace like it's sacred scripture. Protect your story like it's war strategy. Because when you move in silence, when you choose stillness over spectacle, you stop living for applause and start living in alignment. Your life is not a confession booth for the unworthy and your purpose. It doesn't need validation. It needs protection, precision, and presence. If this ripped something open inside you, if it slapped your soul awake, share it. Don't let this message sit in silence. Let it echo. Like, comment, and subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but for the army of silent warriors reclaiming their power through stoic fire.